Yeah, we got the lights, we got the camera.
We out here.
It's time for that action. Yeah, we live. Yeah, yeah. Mic check, mic check.
1 2 1 3.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, it's long awaited. It's your boy Rabbit, the CEO. I'm here with my boy.
Funny salesman. We finally then got it jumping. Like Vince Carter.
Yeah. Man, this is super long in the making. We've been politicking on this for the last 3, maybe 4 months,
We
just
supposed
going
to do
back and
this for
forth.
Father's Day. Remember?
That's a fact.
We supposed to have a Father's Day episode and everything. That we gonna have to swing around next Father's Day. I'll probably have another baby on the way. I'm just joking.
You definitely not joking. We'd be lucky if it's just one. Stop it.
Right, right.
The way you going. Nah, for sure. Yeah, this is super. Definitely been procrastinating on this, but we're long awaited. We're happy to bring it to you. It's the Room of Inspiration, the podcast, and we about to just jump into this, man. We've been talking for a while. Me and Kenny, we clicked up, and we just decided, like, we just had a natural um, type of chemistry between the two of us, and it was just destined to be that we needed to sit down behind a table, keep talking to the crowd, get some, good hosts. I'm sorry, get some good guests on here, and just kind of politic on different things, man. Um, I don't know if you guys really know everything about my boy Kenny. He's going to definitely break into it. But I've been a fan of Kenny. This guy is like literally hilarious. Kenny, I mean, let's just jump into this, bro. Tell us a little about where you from, where you started. You
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, I'm Kenny Brooks, aka Door to Door Comedian, aka Funny Salesman. If you haven't seen me all over the web like a tarantula, just Google Door to Door Comedian. If you say something bad about me, just put in Chinese language so my mom won't know. But it all started in Detroit, Michigan. My mother raised 6 beautiful kids. You know what I'm saying? And I started doing door to door at the age of 12 because because of money. You know what I mean? My mother, she was so she was a mom and a dad of the household. So, you know, I remember growing up and we had to get it how we live. She had to work 2 jobs, so we barely had food when we did run out. You know what I mean? You got 6 greedy kids, and sometimes she'll have to put like a lock on the refrigerator. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because we was greedy. So I was like the ring leader at a young age. I had my little brothers and cousins and stuff like hitting licks at stores and stuff. Like I knew I was gonna be like a leader, but because at the beginning I was like a bad leader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember my mentor told me in sales, he said, it ain't your fault if you was born poor, but if you over the age of 18 and you die poor, that's your fault because you had something to do with it. So I remember like at 12 years old, I grew like a pretty good height at 12 years old. I was like 5'6", 5'7" at 12. And I wanted to play basketball. And it's crazy like coming from the inner city because like you from New York, right?
Yeah, for sure.
New York, just like Detroit, just like Chicago, just like LA, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all is a product of our environment. And people like coming from being a product of your environment, we only think that we can make it out the hood, quote unquote,
Hmm.
if we play basketball or become a rapper, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And really you don't know just being an entrepreneur, really that's the key to success. You
There
know
it
what I
goes.
mean?
Right.
Like like I learned that at an early age, and I'm teaching my kids now to this day. You know what I'm saying? That's the key to success. But anyway, I used to tell myself at 12 years old that I would never punch a clock unless I swung on Flavor Flav, because and like I had to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, to make a long story short, so just to jump right into it, because I do get long winded, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about your journey. But my journey started at 12 years old when my mother couldn't afford me no basketball shoes, so I went to school. I remember like yesterday, I went to Jackson Middle School, and I went there. My friends was just roasting me. That's how really I got inspired to be like a class clown, and the comedian part came. Like I was like damn near the black sheep of the family. I was always the one that roast everybody, keep everybody crying, laughing, all the way from my teachers to my friends to my family. My cousin Tony will tell you, you know what I'm saying? I just had everybody rolling. So I went to school when they started roasting my shoes. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember the shoes. I had like I know they had to be like some Payless shoes.
Right.
See, people don't understand Payless back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, I seen they had like Sauconys at Payless.
Right.
Back in the day, they didn't have it. They had some XJ900s. They had some Pro Wings,
Yeah.
and I was trying to figure out how can you be a pro with some wings? Like that's the new Red Bull. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, I had one of them shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I was like in a gym hooping, but I'm sliding across I'm sliding across, you know the gym.
The court,
I
yeah.
had some slip and slide records before Trick Daddy. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
I slid out the gym into the lunchroom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how crazy it was. So I remember being humiliated. Everybody roasted me, and on the way home, I'm crying. I'm like, man, this the brokest I'ma ever be. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you looking for you. And that's why I love when they say you manifest things. You know what I'm saying? Because if you looking for negative things can happen. But right next door to negativity is positivity. Just
Right.
like right next door to failure is success. You know what I'm saying? It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. We know all of these sayings. So anyway, to make a long story short, I remember coming home from school and on this telephone pole, it was this they staple like these jobs, you know what I'm saying? And there was a paper route. They was like you can make $50 a week
Mm.
delivering Detroit News and Free Press. So I called that number, and it's crazy how goals can become reality. You know what I'm saying? So I had a short term goal. I was like, look, I'm gonna work this 1 week. It was an after school paper route. You know what I'm saying? Where I worked from like 4 to 6. I couldn't work at dark, and we was working like the suburbs. We couldn't even work Detroit because they're straight rob. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they ain't play no games. You know what I'm saying? So we working like the suburbs, like Mount Clemens, Rochester Hills, Auburn Hills, West Bloomfield. You know what I'm saying? People from Michigan that's listening, they know about these suburban areas. Anyway, to make a long story short, so we had one guy that was pulling the wagon, and then we had the other guy that was throwing the paper to the addresses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it wasn't even guys at this. Like I said, I was 12 years old. It was kids. So it was me and another coworker. Of course, we both was African American black, so we work in like predominantly white areas. You know what I'm saying? Like the rich middle class people. So we end up throwing paper. So and like I said, my goal was to make this $50 this 1 week, go buy me some shoes, and then go back and play basketball. You feel me?
Right.
So anyway, this one I realized that I would never punch a clock, like I said, right? So anyway, I knocked we knocked on this one dude door and he just came out snapping, like cussing us out. And it's crazy because I still use this one liner to this day. And I use this, I was 12 years old. This we talking about 26 years ago. Anyway, make a long story short, dang, I just told you how old I am. They like, dang, this nigga old like Moses Malone or something. Anyway, make a long story short. So we threw the paper to this dude crib and he come out tripping, like snapping. He was like, get off my property. I'm about to call the police. I'm tired of y'all keep throwing these papers to my address. You don't see all these papers stacked up. I've been canceled my subscription months ago. And then my coworker looked at me like, I bet you if we was white, he wouldn't be talking to us like this.
Yeah.
So my coworker was ready to fight. So I stopped him. I said, look, I got this. I got this. So I was like, sir, can I ask you one question? Like I said, I still use this one liner to this day when I'm already like trying to like overcome different objections. You know what I'm saying? I even teach this in some of my sales training. So I was like, sir, can I ask you a question? He's like, what? I said, you got kids, right? He was like, yes, sir. No, he's like, yes. I was like, if two of your kids was playing and one broke the glass, you wouldn't spank both of them, right? He was like, nah. I was like, well, you shouldn't spank us for the bad performance. Let me just call my stupid visor.
Mm.
And he started busting out laughing when I said stupid visor. And then next thing I know, he was like, no, 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 that's okay, that's okay. Like that's why I say like people buy personality before they buy merchandise because here it is, this guy was tripping with us, and I changed his mind just off of that one little one liner, and he said, you know what, don't worry about it, and we upgraded him like Beyonce. He went from like turning us down, cussing us out, to doing a whole year subscription. You feel me?
Right.
So then like my my coworker was like impressed. He went in and told the bosses and stuff that hired us that you know what I'm saying that gave us the paper route job, and they changed me to a salesperson right then and there. So I went from welfare to Rockefeller overnight. You know what I'm saying? I went from making like $50 a week to now I'm a salesman when I'm finding out like it ain't no ceiling over your income. You know what I'm saying? You can go to sleep broke. You can wake up to a thousandaire. You know what I'm saying? At
Right.
12 years old. So I went from making $50 a week, like on a salary, just delivering papers, and like my coworker could have took more breaks than a Kit Kat, and we still would have got $50 at the end of the week. Well, then I had a paper. I mean, I had a newspaper. I was selling newspaper subscriptions now, where I was making like $20, $10 a sale. Depends on if we sold it like monthly or yearly or annual. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, I started making like three, four, $500 a week at
Yeah.
12 years old. Now here it is. My mother, when I first did a door to door, she was tripping.
Right.
Like, boy, you ain't about to knock on nobody's door. You get out of here. You crazy. When she said she couldn't afford those shoes, she saw my first paycheck. She's like, oh, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm paying bills and everything now. You know what I'm saying? So it got to the point where I started falling in love at 12 years old with door to door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At 12 years old, I started making up different one liners. And what's crazy is that I learned at 12 years old to be yourself. Because I remember at 12 years old, they was like getting me to lie. You know what I'm saying? They had us reading like speeches, like we as Martin Luther King nephews. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was like, look, you got to read this little speech and go to the door and tell them you working towards a college. I remember the pitch like yesterday,
Yeah.
and I don't even play baseball. They was like, "Hi, my name Kenny Brooks. I'm working towards a college education. You can help by trying Detroit Loser Free Press. I promise you, one subscription gonna help me get credit. Some crazy stuff." I
Right.
was like, man, I'm not saying that. Number
Right.
one, that's longer than ketchup. I fought in kindergarten because I couldn't scribble. I need some basic. I'm gonna
Right.
keep it stupid simple. You know what I'm saying? So I went and started like at the time I'm 12 years old. Back in the day, like my favorite rappers still to this day was like Jay-Z, Eminem, and Lil Wayne. Like
For
Lil
sure.
Wayne was number one, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So and you know they got bars, they metaphor
Yeah.
like and that's why I be putting my words. People like, man, you should be a rapper because I put words together, but they don't know my wordplay came from listening to like Jay-Z, Eminem, and Lil Wayne. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was my inspiration. It's like Kevin Durant. He'd go listen to somebody and go put up 50 points. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It'd be something like nowadays you got inspiration. You'll go listen to E.T. or you know what I'm saying, Inky Johnson or Grant Cardone or Gary V and go crazy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like me, when I was going door to door, I was listening to like like music. You know what I'm saying? Like little like the whole look Carter or the whole Carter took over, you know what I'm
Of
saying, a
course.
neighborhood for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was like my inspiration. So anyway, I started writing down jokes, you know what I'm saying? Just different one-liners, you know what I'm saying, at 12 years old. So anyway, fast forward. So I ain't even buy the shoes. That's what's crazy. I get to that. Like I said, my dream I made a reality, or my goals became what I wanted to do in life. I was like, forget these shoes, man. I'm making money now. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm buying me Jordans, I'm buying Nautica, Tommy Hilfiger, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, everybody's wearing like Guess, Jabot,
Yeah.
Polo, all that, and I was buying that. My mama couldn't afford that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Anyway, make a long story short. So I did that from like 12 to 14. Then around 14, I grew like 6'1". So then I started taking basketball serious. You know what I'm saying? Until I was like 17. I took so I got out of sales at 14 and I took basketball serious till I was like 17 or 18. So then my grandmother passed away, you know what I'm saying? And like my senior year, like I like got depressed. I dropped out of high school and everything my senior year. I was playing basketball because like my number one thing was sales, and then I fell in love with basketball. Really it was basketball at first, but then when I found my niche at 12 years old,
Right.
that I was a people person, I had the gift of gab, and I people just love my energy
Right.
and my sense of humor. I was like, damn, this is what it is. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And I fell in love with sales. So that became my number one thing, sales at 12 years old. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you got a taste of that commission. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Yeah.
that's exactly what it was.
Taste that commission.
Yeah,
I
so
get
like
you.
fast forward to like when my grandmother passed away, I was depressed, you know what I'm saying? I stopped going to school. I ain't get a job. It's crazy because my mother told me like when I was like 18, she was like, if you gonna stay with me, you gonna have to get you a job or you gonna go back to school. You gotta get out.
Right.
So I remember her kicking me out, bro. I swear to God. And this was like this tough love made me the man I am today. You know what I'm saying? Because I thank God for her doing that. Because once she did that, I started living with my uncle, my brothers. I was living house to house. You know what I'm saying? I tried to sell drugs and all that. That ain't work out. I remember working at Burger King for like 30 minutes.
Right.
That ain't work out. I was like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Then my older brother, shout out to Tank, he was like, Poo Poo, my nickname Poo Poo, by the way.
No,
Don't
hold
call
on,
me
hold on,
Poo
hold on,
Poo.
hold on.
A lot of
Call
these
you
people
poo
that's
poo.
listening, my nickname Poo Poo. If
All
you're
right.
not family, don't call me Poo Poo. I don't know why they name me Poo Poo. We all got crazy nicknames. Like my little sister, Pip, my other sister, Misha,
Yeah.
my little brother, Nuki, uh, my cousin Pokey, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Bear, Bookie. We got like weird nicknames,
Well,
you know
you
what I'm
poo
saying?
poo.
Yeah, but I was
All
Poo
right.
Poo.
I
So
got
my
you.
my brother was like, Poo Poo, remember you was working that job when you was 14, you was making all that money
Yeah.
going door to door. He was like, look, hey, he was like, his friend go door to door right now making like $1,000 a week,
Mm.
like selling an all-purpose cleaner. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He was like, I think you should do it. Cause we was like living with our uncle, you know what I'm saying? We was trying to sell drugs. It didn't work out. I was never into the streets, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I was in the streets, but I wasn't in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they made sidewalks. Cause I wasn't in the streets. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean? Anyway, make a long story short. So yeah, he told me that, and I was like, man, you know what? I ain't got no choice, no guts, no glory. So we called the number. They hired us. They gave us so they get we was on a Greyhound. So we went from the first state we went to was like Minnesota.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember like my first week, I made like $800. Like it was like a half a week. You feel
Sheesh.
me?
Yeah.
And I went to my mentor. I was like, shout out to Miss Stowers because I remember asking him. I was like, how you become a millionaire? You know what I'm saying? Because this was the first black millionaire that I met. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I grew up without a father, so he was like damn near like a father figure to me. And I
Right.
remember as a new man, I asked him, I said, how you become a millionaire? He said, you want to invest in yourself. He said, you see how you just made $800? He was like, nah, I'm gonna be honest with you. It ain't how much money you make, it's how much you save. But he was like, but you want to go ahead and invest back into what you do in your craft. So what I did is I went to Barnes and Nobles and I
Right.
spent like half of my checks on books. My first book I bought was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
There you go.
And that book changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It changed my whole outlook on sales. You know what I'm saying? And then my second book was How to Win Friends, Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
There you go.
And one of my favorite quotes was in the book. He said, if you want to gather the honey, don't kick over the beehive. And I seen a lot of people that, you know what I'm saying? Like my mentor told me, shout out to Donald Davis. He was like, some people want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. You know what I'm saying?
That's
so,
a fact.
some people want to be a rapper,
Yeah.
but they don't want to get shot.
Right.
I take that back. I can't say that. But anyway,
You got a pocket for that one.
you know what I'm trying to say.
Right. I got
It's
you.
like people like, you know what I'm saying, you wanna win, but you don't want to study.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My mentor used to tell me like your ass can't, excuse my French, Montana, but your butt can't ride two saddles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like either it's always a yes and a no.
Mm-hmm.
It's balanced. You know what I'm saying? It's always a hot or cold. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when he told me that, I just really started investing myself. I spent like $400-500 on books, bro.
Sheesh.
I just started buying books. And I remember they said, you want to have something from a dummy, put it in a book. You feel me? So I just became stronger than I became stronger than the Holy Ghost mentally. Because I knew door to door was 90% mental and 10% physical. I already had the bells and whistles. I had the personality. I was a people's person. I already knew how to get people to love me. I knew that I had to sell myself first, and I wasn't a prostitute in order for them to love me to sell my product. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I got all of that, I just started beating everybody on cruise. You know what I'm saying? I was a new person beating people. And I knew that I was evolving because he started making me the training ambassador of the company like 2-3 months in the business. You
Yeah.
feel me? So I started outgrowing the people that I came with. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, including my brother. My brother, he like quit and everything. So anyway, to make a long story short, I came in the game like 2003, 2004, right? And door to door, like to selling the cleaning product. And I went viral like 2010. So for those that don't know, people don't even understand that I had went through a lot of adversity to become the viral sensation. People don't understand I got kidnapped by Indians all the way to selling Jamie Foxx, all the way to not giving up, you know what I'm saying? To like knocking on Jamie Foxx's door, then his neighbor recording me and I'm going viral. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, so that story is crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
You definitely went off with that,
But
man. That was
that
pretty crazy.
that story gonna take like 2 podcasts.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we gonna get into. But that's how Kenny Brooks, Funny Salesman was created just off of, and that's what I went through to become the person I am today. You know what I'm saying? So
There it goes.
that's a little bit about me though.
That's what's up. I mean, yo, your story is definitely immaculate. I heard it before. I can hear it again. You definitely share that story wherever you go. If y'all didn't hear that for the first time, and probably the second time, the third time, there's always something more you catch with it. Kenny definitely went off. Just like me, I started at a young age. Definitely got that taste of the commission. That's what I call it. 'Cause
Right.
I think once you get the taste of the commission, you just understand right away off the rip. It's like you want to get paid off your efforts, not your time. I think that was the biggest thing for me, was just understanding that at a very young age too. My first job, I was like 14. You got me beat by the chase at 12. I know in New York City we can't work at 12, but at 14 I got my first job, and I was like, or not even a job, I got my first taste of commission. I started mowing lawns, doing yard care, taking out garbages, just doing those things, and I understood that I was going to get paid by the more yards I did. I remember they put me in a situation where a family member had referred me to the Bronx Zoo, and like my first gig, 14 on the paperwork, I was selling pretzels at the pretzel cart. They was $3 pretzels, but I would just take the whole box of pretzels and walk around the zoo, and I was selling them for $5. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew off the rip, like, yeah, I'm getting paid by the hour here, but I also
Right.
knew if I sold 100 pretzels today, that was extra 200 in my pocket, because I was letting them go for 2 for 10. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I was at the cart. I just walked around and I sold them, and probably nobody knows that until I got fired. You know what I'm saying? Because they caught me like, well, hold on, what are you doing over here selling all
Right.
these pretzels? But I was already in for like a good 3-4 months. I was doing it all summer.
Right,
Getting
right.
crazy. Bronx Zoo is crazy. I was definitely out there networking, meeting people, working off my efforts, having fun with it. it. And people would even tell me like, "Oh, those are $3 pretzels over there." I know I got them 2 for 5 free delivery. And I was having fun with it. Definitely not as funny as you, but I was definitely going out there getting a taste of the commission. And it's funny that you got motivated by like sneakers and clothes because that was probably my biggest motivation too. Was like,
Right.
at the end of the week, $120 check, I can't really buy that much. But
Right.
if I can make a couple extra $100 throughout the week, I can get all that Nietzsche, that Jabot. I remember all them styles was super
Yeah.
popping. The Mecca T-shirts.
Yeah, Mecca.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted blue
for sure.
contacts and all that crazy shit. I
Hell
was
yeah.
wilding.
No, and yeah, all that like New York stuff. Like that's what I'm saying. The New
Yeah.
York style, Detroit, Chicago, it's all the same style because we
Mhm.
all wanted to wear the same stuff. I remember
Right.
the guests with the little side pocket
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying? Marshall Fields and Hudson's we used to go to.
Yeah.
Like in Detroit, they got like Northland, Eastland. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Fairlane. We used to go to different malls. You know what I'm saying? This was like back in the day. Back
Right.
in the day, like when Blade was popping and
Right.
Cheddar Boys. We was just listening to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny you
Nah,
said
yeah,
that.
man. I mean, yeah, definitely. Rabbit the CEO. I'm from Bronx, New York. I got a very similar story. We both started like the same type of business, door to door. I mean, I had a lot of hustles growing up as a kid, and I call them hustles because that's really what I was doing. I was out there tasting the commission. I remember in school they had us doing the candy sale, and they would give us like a brochure and a bunch of candies to
Yeah,
sell,
yeah, I
and we would
remember
do
that
that.
too.
And
Yeah.
right away I caught on, like,
Fundraiser, the
yeah,
little
the
fun.
fundraisers on those
Yeah.
candy bars. We had the
Yeah.
crispy ones, the
Yeah,
caramel, dark
yeah,
chocolate.
yeah.
Right away I caught on to it. I'm like, nah, I'm selling my own candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go to the wholesale spot, we buy the candy.
Right.
I'm gonna go while I'm selling for the school. And they
Right.
giving me a calendar or you know what I'm saying, a
You
sweatshirt
can
or
win a
something.
radio or something.
Yeah, you win a radio. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Something.
Bikes. You gotta sell 20,000 to get a bike.
Nah,
I'm
I
like,
get a
man, I
bike
had to
this.
sell 20,000 to get $100 bike. Man, I could do this myself.
I get a
Like,
bike this week. That's for
right.
sure. The new one. Yeah, so I definitely jumped into it right away. I was hustling candy, doing things like that. Definitely was like known in like sixth grade, seventh grade as the kid with the candy
You're
at
right.
lunchtime. We didn't have those options back then, but it was definitely in my book bag.
Right.
And I was able to get them off. And I mean, that was definitely a good way to taste the commission and understanding that easy learn how to flip, how to invest back my money, put it into my business to make more of it. And this is, like I said, teenage years. Definitely put myself in a situation. And I love how you said it. You seen the sign and you was like, it was like advertisement for the job, and you ended up, doing newspapers. I remember, again, troubled kid, Bronx, New York, hanging with the wrong crowds. Got myself into the juvenile system. When I came out, I was on probation. They had a strict leash on us. They telling me, you got to get a job, you got to do something. My mom shows me a newspaper. In the newspaper, it says warehouse positions now hiring.
Right.
So I'm
right.
like, I don't got no experience. I never had a job. I never done nothing. My PO's on my ass. I got to find a job. Let me go down. Let me apply for this job. I go in for the warehouse. I'm like, warehouse, I could do anything. Carry boxes. I'll get it done. So I'm there and they tell me the first day I remember, they're like, okay, I want you to come back tomorrow. I think you're great. I think you're perfect for the position. I was all excited. I came in my best suit from graduation from high school. And, I was just motivated. I wanted to,
Right,
yeah,
right.
for real, I couldn't even button it. It was like too small.
Right.
That shit was crazy.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, but I went down. I went and rocking. It ended up being not a warehouse job. They wanted me to do like sales outdoors.
Right.
And they had us selling like literally stuff that you would find in a dollar store, like children's books or like flashlights or like little novelty things, knife sets that were like, very, very inexpensive. And we were walking around selling them door to door, like for $10, $15. And
Right.
they would give us like $1, $2 commissions. They would give us a cart. And with the cart, it would be piled up with boxes. The company was called DS Max. You know what I'm saying? A company back in the day, but this was a huge organization that was doing door to door. And when I jumped into it, again, I got a taste of the commissions. I carried the box around. If the box wasn't empty, I didn't make no good money. And I would have to go out there and pretty much interact with people, be a charmer, charisma, personality, and just go out there and pretty much auction off my products to individuals cold calling in the street, whether I met them on the train, at their business, at the nail salon, at McDonald's. And I carry these big boxes of dollar items that I'm selling for $2 or $3 just to make a little bit of profit. But I really caught on to the point where I could make $500-$600 a day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By going out there and just using my personality
That
and
was
really
at
getting the hang of it.
14?
Nah, this is more like 17, 18.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah,
Yeah, a little bit
yeah.
later.
Okay,
At
yeah.
14, I was at the pretzel cart.
Right,
You
right,
feel me?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walking around doing that and doing candy on the side and things like that. But once I was,
Stay hustling.
yeah, I was
Just
grinding out
upgrading.
there for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Started with the door to door doing that. The dollar products, knife sets. And then I jumped into like perfumes. New York City, we had the Perfume Connects downtown, 28th Street.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boys out there, the Habibis.
The,
They definitely
one,
had it
I
for love.
seen the one clip on when I went viral, like in 2010. It was this dude on a train that went viral selling
Mhm.
cologne. You probably know what I'm talking about. He was
Yeah.
from New York. the little tall black dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's selling the cologne. He had the little finesse game too.
That's how it was. That's how
Yeah,
they had us out there. So we selling them colognes out there, really going crazy. It
yeah,
would say on the box like our version of Versace,
yeah.
and it was called Versace. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't $70 like at Macy's, but I'll give it to you right now for 20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So that was a good little hustle. We did that for a while. But yeah, man, I mean that's just pretty cool, man. Definitely how we got into it. And then from there it just escalated. I got more into different industries, selling different products, different topics. Kind of like you wanted to be a basketball player when you was younger. I definitely wanted to be a rapper.
Right.
But I can't rap. That was probably my biggest problem. So it
Right.
kind of disconnected me at that point. But man, that's like my little introduction. But yeah, definitely a couple things I wanted to talk to you about anyway too, and I wanted to bring up. It's the room of inspiration. At the young
Yes,
age,
sir.
you're saying that you definitely wanted to get the sneakers, which is a huge inspiration for you. But what are some individuals that might have sparked, that little extra battery in your back to get your career going?
So yeah, really my grandmother was like my grandma and my mom was like the number one like inspiration for me. I was like I once she passed away and she told me on her deathbed like I was special.
Right.
I like wanted to see how special I was. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, man, for her to see this and this like she with the angels right now, like it's like her spirit, like it's still like it still be with me. Like even when I like make the wrong decisions, it's like I know she be having my backup. You know what I mean? And then I seen my mother struggle. You feel me? So it was like I wanted to just be like the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my inspiration. That what motivated me to do the right thing, like Spike Lee. I was like, man, I want to do this for my mom and my grandma. And then secondly, when I started having kids,
Mm,
like I got 10 kids, they
right.
like eating and I love feeding them. So I felt like when I was struggling, like at an early age, you could be broke when you don't got no responsibility. Like when you don't got no kids, you can go a couple days. You can be homeless. You can live house to house. You
That's
can
a fact.
wear your friends' clothes, and you know what I'm saying. You can, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But when you got kids, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Because
fact.
they didn't ask to come in this world. Like
Right.
I grew up without a dad, so I know how it is. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, dang. God, thank God for having all these kids because it's a blessing. It just keep me hustling even
Yeah.
more. You know what I'm saying?
You're back
And,
against the
and
wall.
and that's my whole thing. Like building generational wealth for my family, you know what I'm saying? And like making sure my kids are straight, making sure my family's straight. Cause like I got a lot of people that love me, you know what I'm saying, that look up to me and they
Right.
inspire.
Yeah.
But I know at the end of the day, my kids, I'm their role model. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. Like one thing about kids, you could be the worst person in America. Your kids gonna still be like he the number one person.
Right.
You could be the number one liar in America. They
Right.
still gonna be like that guy telling the truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. You
Right.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
There you go.
You could be like the worst of the worst, bro. But your kids always, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like me, like just watching my kids grow up and just watching how they is now. You even like with your boys, I know you
Yeah.
be like, dang, I used to be just like that when I was little,
Right.
and it'd be funny now. You know what I'm saying?
There you
But
go.
that just sparked that extra, like even when you want to give up, it's just like you be like, I can't do it. My
Right.
kids, you know what I'm saying? And that's really like that's my number one inspiration right now is my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like just not letting them down, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I can let myself down. How I'm gonna be able to lift them up though? If I let myself down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like so yeah, but a lot of individually, like LeBron James,
Yeah.
like Kobe,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Kevin Hart,
Mm,
Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? Them like they my super inspiration.
right.
Eric Thomas, you know what I'm saying? Like Inky Johnson, just hearing Inky Johnson's story, like how he was supposed to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying, God made another plan for him. Like, no, look, God wants you to do this.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And I when I heard these stories, like Eric Thomas talking about he from Detroit, he ate out of garbage cans, he
Yeah.
grew up without, you know what I'm saying, without a dad and like, you know what I'm saying, now look, he the number one motivational speaker in the world, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Just because like tough times don't last, tough people do. I remember like, you know, stealing from my parents and stealing from my grandmother and getting my little brothers and sisters and cousins to go. Like, bro, I'm talking about it was times that my cousin to tell you right now, like I used to be like the ringleader and make like I swear to God, bro, you know, dead presidents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like remember they was in the basement and they was plotting on how they was gonna hit these licks at the
Right.
little banks and stuff with
Yeah.
the white before they had the white face.
Right.
That's how we used to be. We'd be in the basement. My mama be gone. I'll be in the basement like Nuki. Look, I'm gonna set this up. Because right now, we don't got no noodles in the house.
No noodles.
We don't got no peanut butter and
No
jelly.
peanut butter
We
jelly.
don't got no cereal
No
right now.
cereal.
We got to wait till my mama get off work. Y'all hungry, right?
We gonna do
Okay,
something.
we about to go eat. Look, I'm going to go and say my mama wants some Newport 100s. Soon as he turn around and get the Newports, Nuki, you grab the bread, run out the stove. Beatrice, you grab the peanut butter jelly, run out the stove. Epiphany, you grab the cereal and milk. Buki,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I had all of them, and they was listening to me, so I was like a negative leader.
Right.
Until one day, bro, I told her to do that. I told her, we was hitting every gas station on 7 Mile, right?
Yeah.
Until they started looking at us like, oh, this the Brooks Bandit.
Yeah,
They
they
coming. They
Yeah.
coming. And then I went to one store on 7 Mile, and then dude locked the store. Like, he already was ready. He was like, soon as this little big teeth motherfucker come in the store,
Oh,
and he
shit.
saying he gives me some Newports, I'm going to lock the door, and I'm going to pull out. When I tell you he pulled out, bro, he pulled out the Last Samurai sword. That was the last sword on Last Samurai.
Yeah.
And bro, he was about to shave it. He was about to take somebody's head off. I was like, all right, that's it. We ain't gonna do it no more. Come on, y'all, bring it back. Like, it was crazy. After that, I was like, bro, I learned my lesson.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Then after that, I was like, man, I gotta change. Then I went out of town, and then I became a positive leader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I helped grow like the company. I had like 100 people like underneath me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I was the car handler, I was a fearless leader, I was tough, and they was listening to me. But I knew that I can do that because I was doing negative things and had my family. Like, that's why they look at me to this day, because I was like the older cousin or the older brother. I had another older brother that was older than me, but I'm talking about like I was the one that was always active with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So it's like I know I could do something positive and that I could take off. And that's probably like, and that's what I felt like God was like, look, if you don't stay on track, you're gonna be dead or in jail. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I had to go that right. I had to, that was
No,
as
that's,
far as I was dealt. You feel me?
there you go.
So
That's a fact. Nah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, since me and Kenny met up, it's like every story that we have kind of lines like parallel with each other. I mean, my biggest motivation growing up was my father, again, rest in peace. But that was definitely my OG, yeah, for sure. Put me onto the game. Growing up, you know what I'm saying, as a young kid from a very young age, my father always had a business, He ran a business called Cycle Couriers, and I watched him, be the boss. And Cycle Couriers was a very unique business. It was like FedEx or UPS, so they delivered packages.
right.
But it was even more different. FedEx got overnight shipping or 2-day shipping. Nah, he would deliver packages within 2 hours, within 3 hours.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So it was super simple, and they did it by bike. So in New York City, they was picking up packages at 42nd Street, bringing it down to Wall Street, getting it notarized, getting it signed, and bringing it back. And it was like that type of thing. Or you could pick up a package and deliver it very, very quickly, almost like Uber, but like on bikes. And they would whatever you wanted, they would have someone dispatch it. And I remember, just watching him run his organization, and he had maybe 20, 30 bikes out there, people walking, people in vans for bigger packages. And, they all worked off a commission. The more packages they delivered, the more they made. The longer the delivery, the more it was, and I just watched him hustle every day. And of course, he was on the back end, monitoring everything from his office that he had downtown in Canal Street. So he was running the office downtown Canal Street, and he would get the phone calls in. People want a package. He would look on the board, see who's where, beep them, because they had beepers back then. They would call back on the payphone, be like, "You got a package from me, boss?" Yeah.
Right.
And then they go pick up the package. They deliver it over here. It was just a smooth operation. But since a young age, I always seen him in that entrepreneur boss situation. I grew up always saying my dad's at his business. My dad owns his business. That kind of inspired me from a very young age, which helped me later on to become, Rabbit the CEO and put myself in that type of a limelight or in that type of a responsibility. I don't even want to say limelight. I want to say to take that responsibility because I knew the role from a young age. The legacy, yeah. I definitely seen how it was.
Right.
And then definitely later on too, in the teenage years and getting into that, I didn't have a gang of brothers and sisters or cousins like you did, but I was actually involved in actual gang activity.
Right.
And I was definitely very, early age got into an OG position, running the block, having other people doing my due diligence, and it was always, again, negativity. There's nothing positive that comes out of this. I'm not even going to get into which gang or what it was.
Right.
It wasn't nothing that I glorified.
Right.
But it definitely took a leadership role.
Right.
I definitely had that potential. I had that skill. I was very good at motivating people, to get, the job done. You feel me?
Right.
And then I realized that being a natural motivator, even though I was doing that and motivating people and having a huge core, a huge following, right? At that time, a following, a leadership role with a bunch of different individuals, it wasn't for me.
Right.
Like we would, do things and bang gangs out and hit this block and hit that block, and honestly, I wasn't proud of it. Even though that's what we were doing, it didn't feel good to me. It didn't feel right. And I remember getting into, sales and entrepreneurship and having that leadership role, and positivity was like such a relief. Being able to use my superpower or my skills of leadership and being able to lead people in directions or motivate them to do certain things. When I was motivating people to benefit them, it just fulfilled my tank. It just got me more excited. I felt good about doing that on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. It was something I could do day in and day out without regretting it or feeling bad about it. And that's really was what kind of took me into the entrepreneur realm. So it's the same thing, like a negative. We use our skills in the beginning negatively, and then it put us in a situation where once we started using it for the right things, the right causes, it just kind of worked so much better for us, man. That's pretty exciting. But our stories are so similar, man. Yo, for real, man. I mean, me and Kenny been kicking it for a while. We definitely just gotta.
Man, we brothers, bro. We just tapped in. Like
That's
it's crazy. Like
day
just
one.
to even talk about how we even met until we at now. You feel me?
Nah,
Like I met, like we met on an accident, bro.
Right.
It was crazy.
Right.
Bro, I saw the Jules. I'm like, dog, Jules Santana cousin, bro. He got, bro. He's shining on him. You know what I'm saying? Door to door con.
Right. Door to door con.
Cause I am be honest. Like it was a lot of door to door people, but like I related to you. Like I even asked your boy. Remember your boy? I forgot his name.
Yeah, my boy David.
Yeah, he came over to me. He was like, dang, what's up? What's good, bro? You need to holler at my boy Rabbit. I'm like, Rabbit.
Yeah.
He said my mama named Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. My mama
crazy.
named Rabbit. I said, oh yeah, we got something in common already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we chopped it up. You know what I'm saying? And then we was like, it was on after that. Like just the energy, the inspiration, the motivate, everything. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, we've been on point like Stacey Adams ever since.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No, that was definitely
so
crazy.
It was definitely a vibe though. Like, yeah.
I remember when I got the door-to-door con, I got there. The convention didn't even start yet. I've seen everybody like lined up to take pictures with this guy. Like they lined up, they taking pictures. Yo, what's this? Say a skit, say this, say that, say a funny line, and take a picture with me. And can I post this and do a reel? And he's just going crazy, and mad people's there. And I'm just like, bro, I walked right past him, like, yo, all right, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, yo, why don't want to take pictures with me? You feel me? Come on, I'm icy right now. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, whatever. But then he actually walked up to me, and he was like, yo, bro, what's up, man? Who you? What you do? And I'm just like, yeah, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm Rabbit. Nice to meet you, bro. What's your name? And like, I ain't gonna lie, I knew who he was. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't no fan. So I'm just like, yo, bro, who you? What you do? You know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, I'm Kenny Brooks, man. I went viral, da-da-da. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm fucking with you. I know who you are, bro. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Yeah. I know you are, bro. I gave him a pound. Then from there, that's it. The rest was history, man. Like, every little corner I dipped off to, or I'm over here networking with this person, I turn around, Kenny right there. Kept checking my pocket for my wallet. But yeah, we was good, yeah. And we just kind of kicked it from there, man. We hung out that night.
All right.
Went to dinner the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there we just started talking like, man, I don't know what we gonna do, how we gonna do it, but we gotta do something. Exactly. You know what I mean? For sure. And then he's been running around the country doing everything. This guy's like phenomenal, man. Every time I see him on the gram, he's over here shooting footage. He's over here doing the training. He's a super busy man, and I was lucky enough to have him, drive all the way out here to Fresno. You know what I'm saying? We sitting down, we're like, let's put the podcast together. Let's make history. You're super inspired. I'm super inspired. We're sitting in the room of inspiration, and we're just trying to bring it to you live, man. And then, from there, the rest is history. This is gonna be our first episode. We're gonna be doing this every single week. Yeah. So make sure you guys tune in.
Special celebrity guests too. We're gonna keep it on the hush hush. It's a secret like Victoria, but we got a couple people that's gonna come on here, and they gonna tell they inspiration how they started just like us.
There you go.
But yeah, it's definitely this definitely about to be probably the best podcast ever.
Nah, that's a fact. Nah, the celebrity lineup that we got right now on the calendar is gonna blow you away, man. And we taking them from all angles of the earth. You know what I'm saying? All different types of situations. We're not gonna be that podcast that's only doing music or only doing door to door or only we hitting everybody everywhere because there's all types of inspirations for everybody. Yeah. And it's really gonna be crazy. We're really gonna put this together, and I'm super excited for you guys tuning in already. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man. We're gonna wrap up the first episode, and yeah, we're gonna see you around like a donut, right?
We're gonna see you around like a donut.
There we go. Let's go. Boom. That was good, bro. Hell yeah.
Did on episode 1, Room of Inspiration. That's all, folks. Like the Reynolds, we're gonna wrap it up.
There we go, man. We're gonna finish the episode with what's on your feet, kicks of the day. What you got on your feet, Kenny?
Yep. I got these Omni and a Hellcat. Shout out to my boy Omni and a Hellcat. These the Reloaded. If you want to grab some, make sure you go to reloadeduniverse.com. Hit your boy up. Yep.
them Jones clean.
Electrifying.
Aye. Yeah, you know I had to pull up with the Why So Sad official dunks. They ain't even dropped yet. Check these out. Them Jones super clean and mean on my feet.
Oh yeah, them hard.
Episode 1. Let's go. Hi. Hi. Until next time, y'all. We out. Boom.